Buying or selling a home in Texas often comes down to one key question: who pays for what? That's exactly what paragraph 12 of the TREC 1 to 4 family residential contract covers. In this video, I'm going to break it down in plain English, what expenses the seller covers, and what costs the buyer is responsible for. By the end, you'll feel confident explaining this section to your client and avoiding surprises at the closing table. Paragraph 12, Settlement and Other Expenses, starts with what the seller will pay at or before the closing. Seller expenses 12A 1A. Think of the seller's role as handing over a clean property. They cover expenses like releasing liens, paying off their mortgage, preparing the deed, tax certificates, and their share of property taxes up to the closing date. Bottom line, the seller pays to deliver a clear title. In paragraph 12, section A1, part B, addresses the amount that the buyer has agreed to pay their broker, but now the seller has agreed to pay for the buyer the amount towards the buyer's broker fee directly through negotiations. Here, the contract allows you to check either a flat fee or a percentage, whichever has been agreed upon during negotiations. This is important because it ensures the broker is compensated if the seller's listing agreement does not include a provision to pay buyer's broker fees. When you get to this paragraph, you will need to know if the seller has authorized the listing broker to pay an amount towards the buyer's broker's fee in the listing agreement. If they have, then the brokers should use the compensation agreement between brokers for the amount being paid by the listing broker and complete the disclosures paragraph on page 10 of the sales contract with the agreed upon amount. Do not complete paragraph 12A1B in the sales contract for the amount the listing broker is paying. If, in the listing agreement, the seller did not authorize the listing broker to allocate a portion of funds to cover part of the buyer's broker fee, this is when you use paragraph 12A1B. You will then complete paragraph 12A1B in the sales contract with the amount the seller agreed to pay the buyer's broker. Do not use the compensation agreement between brokers or complete the disclosure paragraph on page 10 for the amount the seller is paying. If the listing broker's payment does not cover the full buyer's broker fee, the seller can agree in the sales contract to pay the difference. Part of the fee would come from the listing broker under the compensation agreement between brokers, and the rest from the seller through paragraph 12A1B. If the seller does not agree to pay any of the buyer's broker fees, the buyer is responsible for paying their own broker fee under the terms of the buyer's representation agreement. In paragraph 12A1C, this is where you can request money from the seller to help the buyer with expenses. Think of it like a contribution towards closing costs. For example, if your buyer needs $3,000 to help cover their closing costs, you would write $3,000 in the blank. Paragraph 12A2 lays out all the expenses that the buyer is responsible for. This includes things like appraisal fees, loan-related fees, insurance, and other closing costs. Then, in Part 12B, if costs are higher than what the contract allows, the deal can be canceled unless the other party agrees to cover the extra. Also, buyers using FHA, VA, or similar loans can't be charged fees those programs don't allow. Well, that's a wrap on paragraph 12, Settlement and Other Expenses. As an agent, the better you understand this paragraph, the more confidence and clarity you bring to your clients. Or, if you're ready to earn your license or knock out your SAE hours, Pioneer School of Real Estate is here to help. Our courses are 100% online, self-paced, and designed to fit your schedule. Check us out today and take the next step in your real estate career.